Hello. Welcome to Here Be Dragons, where creativity meets courage and dragons live in the art we create and the lives we lead. I'm Carla Morrow of DragonLady Art, and with me is my co-pilot and dragon rider extraordinaire,
Alan Childers of Alan Childers Art and Illustration. We're here to talk about the dragons we face, the treasure we're after, and the wondrously weird journey of life. Every episode will explore what it takes to face your dragons and maybe even ride one.
So grab your shields, sharpen your claws, and let's dive in because today we're asking the question that matters most. What dragons are you facing?
Hi, Carla.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
Oh, doing pretty good. Getting ready for this Ren Fest. Just got an Amazon delivery so I can start bagging and boarding some prints. Got my prints ready to go. Need to get them ready to go, and then we start next week. Or tomorrow and all of next week. Start packing, repacking, organizing, and get everything ready to go on Friday.
Heck yeah. This is your first big outdoor Ren Fair multi-day.
Yeah, it's 2 days. It's a 2-day Ren Fair event. It's going to be raining, but it rained last year too. We went out and so it's I'm hoping that I hope it's going to be a good event. They're actually having it this weekend too. So it was a multi-weekend, but I chose only to do one weekend. So
Okay. I'm noticing that a lot of the single weekend Ren Fairs are still moving to that format where they're 2 weekends in a row. I don't know as a vendor if I like that.
If you're from a vendor that's further away, it kind of creates like a pickle. Like if you can't dedicate yourself to a multi-weekend event, or you can only do like one huge multi-weekend event a year, or two huge multi-weekend events a year. But those little day ones kind of are like, kind of. Uh, I would like to say, I would like to think that they're for like. I consider myself a lower tier artist. That they're nice for people who just want to get in, try it, and
For
get
sure.
out. So
Yeah. Well, and if you're traveling at all, I mean, that means that's a week and a half that you have to figure out lodging or, bring a trailer or something like that. So it's not just like you can go you're not there for like 3 or 4 days and then you can leave. You're stuck there for a week. If you decide to do both weekends.
yeah. Sorry if you hear thunder and lightning. It's storming, so my internet could go out. That's part of the course here in southeast Kansas. It happens.
As long as you don't have a tornado, it's okay.
Knock on wood.
Right?
Nothing says saying tornado on the thing. Just strong storms. Sometimes even strong storms can be more destructive than tornadoes, and
Oh, yeah, for sure.
with straight line winds and stuff like that. But and then flood damage can still do quite a bit of damage overall. But yeah,
Oh, I wouldn't know about that.
yeah. So what's going on with you, Carla? What kind of dragons have you been facing?
So many, so many. The world is still on fire. Um, I am currently.
Yes, it is. We're living in idiocracy times.
Oh, so much, so much.
But we
So
won't get into that here.
that's another podcast.
That's another
Um,
podcast.
yeah, I'm currently doing a mad scramble to put together a Kickstarter. I usually like a little more lead time, but the product is finished, and I would like the funds by a certain date. And so I had to balance between when to launch it and when I got the funds in. I don't want to run a 30-day Kickstarter because there's always like a 2-week slog in the middle. So I'm kind of cutting that out. So it'll be, I think it's like a 2.5-week Kickstarter. It's for a book that I had finished it a year and a half ago. It was about 4 years in the works. It's 125 illustrations. A lot of them are full page or 3/4 page illustrations. It's an art book based on the language of flowers. I did a deck based on the language of flowers about 5 years ago, and had the idea to do the entire dictionary as an illustrated dictionary. And it was like that, when I had that idea, it became my heart project. It was like my magnum opus. It was the big thing I was going to do. My great grandmother owned a flower shop. I grew up there. Flowers are a big part of my past and who I am, and and I love all kinds of flowers. And I love this idea that we could speak and have meaning and share thoughts and emotions through gifting flowers and things like that was always really interesting to me. That's where I learned about the language of flowers, was through my great grandmother. And so the thought of like being able to do this book was super exciting for me. And I did the pitch for it, and I put it together, and I ran a Kickstarter, and I had talked to some book manufacturers, and this was 2019. And at the time, a lot of artists were buying bulk books, so you had to buy 1,000 or 1,500 books at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So what I needed in order to get the first book published was like $25,000, and then I settled on $32,000 in order to have enough for like stretch goals and stuff. The first Kickstarter I ran hit 24.5, and so it didn't get funded. We were close. It's all good. You know what? I was really glad, because like Crystal Sully was running her big book's Kickstarter at the same time, or roughly around the same time.
Yeah.
And hers got funded, and it blew up. And then 2020 happened. So we had the pandemic. So we had difficulties with shipping. And then we had the first range of tariffs that came through.
Right.
So I know like her book got hit, and she almost needed double what the Kickstarter pulled in order to cover the tariffs from the producers in China. Yeah, it almost buried her. And I knew several other artists that were in similar straits, and several game companies that were in similar straits and things like that, because the tariffs on books were so high. So it's a bummer that it didn't get done, but that's all right. Once all that kind of happened, I didn't feel quite so bad. But a publisher, the same publisher that the Oracle deck, let me know that they were interested in the book. So I was like, cool, I have a publisher whenever I get around to finishing it. So for the next 4 years, I worked on this book pretty much straight. It was over 2,000 hours. It's 125 illustrations. It's 80 pages.
Okay, so are we talking about two different books here? One that did not get produced that you worked on, and then one that's a dictionary.
It's the same book. Okay,
so they're the same book.
Correct.
Okay. I didn't know if they were two different books and you were combining them, or what was going on.
No. It's the format of the book is a dictionary. And it's a dictionary of the flower meanings, and also the sentiments and the flowers that match those sentiments.
Okay.
Yeah. And so and the original book that I'm pulling from was was written in 1846, I believe. So it's in the public domain. So I was able to just pull it straight and re-illustrate it. Mm-hmm. It's funny because it's out of the UK, and there's a lot of different flower changes, and it was, it was like 120 something years ago. So there's a lot of flowers in there that don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
so
like the species are a little bit. Did you update it? Did you update it for modern times?
Yeah, and which I didn't do. I just took the text straight. Great. Yeah, so doing research when I was like looking through it, there'd be a flower name, and I'd be like, ooh, that sounds like a fun one to illustrate. And then I'd look it up, and Google could not find anything on the flower that I had looked up.
It's pre-Google.
Yeah, exactly, pre-Google. So that's been quite an adventure. And but yeah, I spent 4 years illustrating this book, and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I took the illustrations from the Oracle deck, which were painted in watercolor, mm-hmm. scanned them in, and then I would add stuff around them digitally. And I had to match the digital look to the watercolor look, which was a fun equation to break, but I did it.
Nice.
Yeah. And so they look really good.
I know a lot of people really like the Oracle decks. So mm-hmm. This is a great complement to that, almost like and I know you have a book for the Oracle deck, but then this is just like an even better complement to that Oracle deck.
Exactly. This is the full dictionary, where the Oracle deck is just 45 cards that have that meaning.
Right.
And I got to the point where I was like running out of good butterflies. So there's like bee dragons and beetle dragons and snail dragons and
Oh, hell yeah.
all that kind of stuff in there too. Yeah. And then, so when it was finished, I sent it to the publisher and they were cool, but they said it wasn't quite what they thought it was going to be. They thought like each flower was going to be illustrated, and
Yeah.
that would make it a 2,000 page book. So
Yeah, that would make it, you would have to have volumes for that. You'd have to be the diction. There would be an illustrated volume. You'd have to get 4 or 5 volumes just to make that happen.
absolutely. And so when they said no, I just kind of tucked it away in the hard drive and left it. And didn't like my plan was like to get back to it, right? Like, okay, fine, the publisher rejected, it's fine, it's not a big deal. I'll get back to it. And I had people at shows that were coming up and asking about it continuously because a lot of people want it and want to see it and knew I was doing it. And I was like, I'll get to it. And it's been a year and a half. And my agent actually messaged me. There's a company that wants a calendar. And he said, since you have this book, can you use pages out of the book? And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll just do that. And I had forgotten that I had completely finished the book. I thought I still had like 4 or 5 pages left because it had been so long.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And pulling up those images again.
You thought you had just like sent it to the editor or like
the publisher
to the publisher, like not like just as much as far as you could go with it, and then
right. Well, to approve it and to make sure it's what they wanted before I finished the last few pages. I don't know. And pulling that up and looking at those pages again brought up a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
About the fact that it was finished and I hadn't done anything with it. And that book is what initially pushed me into burnout because I had worked so hard on it for so long and in evenings and at shows and at night and things like that. And having to like process that.
Yeah, I think yeah, like the emotional context, like the emotional context that some of our creations can weigh on us, especially when we pour, like, I don't know how many, like you said, how many hours that you
over 2,000.
Yeah, over 2,000 hours that just of your skill and labor just intently going into this piece to a publisher that said that they were interested in it. So you were giving them a finished product that they could take, and even if it didn't suit their tastes, they still could have probably recouped their money back up from it.
Yeah, like it's done. It needs some small tweaking and things like that, but that would have been completed, and they would have literally just had to send it to a publisher. Right, they wouldn't have had to have done a whole lot else. The layout's done, everything's done. So
it's kind of like giving your work to a gallery, and the gallery person, the gallery head, not understanding your work and not understanding how to promote or pitch your work. And I think that's where the publisher was. He didn't understand it.
Yeah,
or they didn't understand it.
Right.
They didn't understand.
Which is like, there's no hard feelings toward the publisher. I plan on working with them again. I'm probably going to do another Oracle deck. Like I'm not mad at the publisher by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want to drag their name through the mud. I don't like nothing like that.
I mean, if I was a publisher and I couldn't understand something, I'd be like, where am I going to put this? Like, how am I going to sell this? Like that would be the number one thing. And who am I going to sell this to?
Mm-hmm.
So those would be my number one things on there. And sometimes passion projects can be a little bit, like we can get deep into the weeds with them and kind of like not like, we want to see them created. And we know that there are people out there who love the concept and love the idea and want this product made.
For sure.
But like, thankfully, we live in an age where we have things like, I think the stigma around self-publishing has been alleviated a little bit to the point where you know, there are lots of things I think that would not be created if, you know, we didn't, if they just didn't take a chance, if artists, authors didn't take a chance on themselves and get it
For
get it
sure.
put out there. Like people who are doing web comics, people who are doing, you know, publishing the indie comic scene. There's an indie author scene. You know, these.
Mhm.
I remember there used to be a huge stigma around the quality of that. Not so much anymore because now we see like what the quality of AI is pumping out.
Right.
Like, I'll take an independent author any day.
Absolutely, right? Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and
So
it with print on demand. I mean, I'm not going through Amazon. I'm going through Ingram Spark, which is Ingram is the main book distributor for all of the independent small bookstores across the nation.
sweet.
So doing it through Ingram Spark, anybody can go to their local bookstore and ask to order it, or for them to carry it. And libraries can order it if they decide. And I don't have to order 1,000 books at a time. I can do a special edition run for 100 books, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a deluxe run for 100 books. I'm going to put some extra pages in that 100 books that won't be in the trade edition, that won't be in the regular edition. So it'll be a special edition that'll be a little more expensive than the trade edition will be. And I can just order however many books are going to sell through the Kickstarter. I think I have the Kickstarter set out 5K, which will get me the 100 books, and then any overages that I might need or any extras that I might need. And then if it goes past that, I can continue to add to it as far as like the trade number of books, which I am going to offer both on the Kickstarter. And then I can do a paperback. And then I have, so it's the Victorian style illustrations. And so it's a watercolor look with an ink outline. And I have all the ink outlines. So I'm probably going to do a coloring book as well as a stretch goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a hardcover coloring book, which I think will be really cool.
Yeah,
a lot of people ask for that. So I think I have something really good. And what's nice, so because I went through Kickstarter and I had like 260 backers on the last Kickstarter, so I can tap into that. I can message them through the Kickstarter platform and say, hey, there's a relaunch of the book. If you're still interested, here it is. It's a little less expensive and we'll hit our goal faster, so it's more likely to get done. I have a personal goal of 10,000. Hopefully we'll see.
That'd be nice.
I think I could hit that. That would help me pay for some other bills. For sure. And we'll see. I've got 21 days or 19 days to push the Kickstarter. I just announced it officially. When we're recording, this episode will go live a week later, a little over a week later. So hopefully announcing it in the middle of the day on a Saturday probably wasn't a good idea. It hasn't gotten a lot of hits, but I'm going to keep posting it and sharing book pages and stuff like that for the next 3 weeks. I have a gallery now in a tea shop, and I'm planning a live event from the gallery that's a gallery opening at the same time. So I'll set up an event through Kickstarter, and I'll do it as a virtual and in-person event. So I'll hit my email list and send invites out for, I think, the 20th from like 4 to 6 or 6 to 8 or something like that. I need to decide on a time, but I can do a gallery walkthrough on Kickstarter and have several of the originals from the Oracle deck here in the gallery so people can see them. And then because it's a art book, I can order an inexpensive sample from any of like the art book publishers for, pay $40 and get a decent enough quality one that I have a sample so people can look through it.
Right.
And then I'm thinking about doing some kind of a giveaway where if they're here in person or if they're on the live and they get on the Kickstarter, they'll get something, a digital download or a free bookmark. I'm still working out a lot of the details on that.
Yeah. Definitely offer it as a PDF because, some people may want to may be able to throw a little money for it towards as a PDF, and they may not have a room for it on their on their coffee table, but they may have room for it on their files.
For
and
sure.
They want to reference it and have like pretty backgrounds for the computer and stuff. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'll absolutely be available as a PDF. So
yeah. I think you're doing like everything that like I think like I've never done a Kickstarter, but I think you're going above and beyond what, like, I think you're keeping it like a modest Kickstarter, to fund like the first run of books and get and that's also like a litmus test of what people want. My question is like, who is your ideal consumer for this product? Like, other than the people that already bought the Oracle decks, who are your like the vibe? Where do you see this living in someone's home? Where do you see them? Like, where do you see this product? Like, who do you see holding this product, flipping through it at a coffee shop? Like, who is your ideal consumer for this product?
Yeah, there's a couple of overlapping audiences. We all want to say, I want my audience to be everyone.
Yeah.
That's never like that. No. Definitely. Well, and it's shifted since I've made it too.
Some
right?
gardeners, maybe some gardeners.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. People who are into flowers, people who are into gardening. It's probably an overwhelming female artists, or more feminine people in general. Yeah, gardeners for sure. Pagans, I'm sure it would hit the pagan market fairly well.
Okay.
I think Gen Z, because it is vintage. I think it's something that like a lot of Gen Zers would be interested in, and it's an art book, and it's a fantasy art book. So you have a lot of like, again, the cottage core thing that.
Oh yeah. Definitely cottagecore vibes.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and I just made that connection like just now because
Maybe
cottagecore is
maybe an influencer with like doing like cottagecore reels and stuff like that, having that, and maybe even worth an email or a shout out to them to see if they'll promote it.
Yeah,
on
for
their
sure.
socials, or see if they, if this is something like, if they think that this would vibe with their audience or whatnot. I'm not sure how to approach content.
Yeah, me neither.
How to approach content creators like that, but I do know that there's a lot of that people do have cross promotion on socials with things like that. So
right, and that is some definite concerns that I have. Is social media is not what it was back in 2019 at all.
No, it's pay to play.
Yeah. So I will invest money in some Facebook ads. But I have a large enough Facebook fan page now that I can place those ads directly with people who have liked my page.
Oh, nice.
So I can target that audience and just that audience. So it's not just going out to random people on Facebook.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of more bang for your buck. I have a email list that's about 1,500 people. I have the 200 and people that had got on the first Kickstarter, and I've had 8-9 successful Kickstarters, and I've only had 2 that failed.
I was looking at your, like, I think it said 11 like attempted, something like that. Like,
yeah.
Kickstarters attempted.
I don't remember.
Or like
it's a lot.
You let me see the back end of the Kickstarters, and I was like, 11.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Being nosy in my Kickstarters?
Sorry, I was just,
No,
you let me have access. So.
I hope you learned a lot. No, please do. It doesn't bother me at all. I will give you a hard time about it, but it doesn't bother me at all.
It was right up there. It was right up there, and a little notification at the top in gray. So I didn't I didn't even do any hunting. It was just like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's nothing there it's mostly calendars, right? So I did 2 plushies. One of the plushies failed. All of my calendars have succeeded. All of my pins have succeeded. The book is the only other one that didn't succeed, and I needed. The $32,000 is not.
No furry calendars.
No furry calendars. Sorry.
Yeah, that would have made like $50,000.
Well, we could hope, right?
Pretty sure those furries show up and spend money.
They very much can. And now I have a publisher that's been asking for calendars, so I don't have to go through Kickstarter to do calendars anymore. Although I missed the bump in like pay, right? So, I would need $1,000 to get a calendar done. My calendar Kickstarters, I think, average between 5,000 and 8,000. and that was always a nice little extra chump change. I would like to do a pin count or a pin set based on my dragons again, but I don't want to do the big 3-inch pins again. I want to do like a 2-inch pin and have them at $15 a pin, you know, the inexpensive pins, because that Kickstarter did fairly well.
Mm.
But
I don't know. People were like, they love the dangly pins too. Like
they did when they see them.
Yeah, they came out for it. Like they shelled it out for you at the Renfest.
Yeah, but I had 8 designs and only 5 of them got done.
Okay.
Through the Kickstarter. Yeah. And it's hard to see. Like, it's hard to gauge what a 3-inch pin looks like if you don't have a banana for scale.
Banana in the tailpipe.
Right? So, yeah, I think I've got the book set at a good price. I'm pretty sure I can hit 5K. I think I have my stretch goals spread out fairly well. I'm trying really hard not to give too much in this Kickstarter because I have done that before, and shipping is not something. It's not my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you're keeping it kind of modest, right?
I'm trying to.
Unless it hits like really hot, and you can just keep getting orders and orders and orders. You know, I think it's going to remain probably a fairly modest Kickstarter. You know, we can hope that, like, definitely, I'm hoping you hit like 12,000. I mean, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Well, and I'm trying to, so I've done it where I've done like tons of add-ons, and you can look at the first Kickstarter that I did and see that. Like, I had Oracle deck add-ons, I had print add-ons, I was selling all 45 originals. You had to DM me and let me know what original you wanted, and then I put a reserve sticker on the pit. Like, it was all way too much, and it was all to try to hit that 32,000 mark.
Right.
And so I'm trying to, like, my last couple of Kickstarters were just pins or just calendars, and like even for this one, so if I hit 5,000, then if I hit like 7,000, I'll add a bookmark, and that everybody gets the bookmark. There's only one bookmark design. Everybody gets the same bookmark.
Right.
You know, 8 or 9,000 was something that was like 10 extra pages, and that goes in every book regardless. So I'm trying to keep it from people from having to turn it into ordering stuff, because with too many add-ons, you start getting into like one person wants an Oracle deck and 2 prints, and another person wants 1 print and a bookmark. And so now you're just filling orders instead of like lining up boxes and dropping stuff into boxes. And when you start hitting that, like,
it becomes more like custom. It becomes more like custom order kind of stuff, and takes an infinitely longer time to do.
Yes, and the more stuff that you have on there, the more it takes money, right? So now it's that 5,000.
You just want to pack it, slap it, ship it.
Basically, yeah, exactly. And it's not. It won't be big enough to warrant like getting a warehouse to do it. Like some of the majorly large Kickstarters, so I still have to do it myself, and I still have to do it out of my home all by myself.
Right. The book is going to be hardcover, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have it written down like at the 10K range. I'll open up a paperback.
Yeah.
Nice. And I would like to. Because it's print on demand, I can set up a paperback and order them for shows. So, but I want to say the paperback, when I went through the pricing, the paperback was only like $5 cheaper than the hardback.
I mean, so there's some people who they can't lift hardbacks. They can't. There's some like folks who might be like, you know, that have either some physical restriction or some age restriction that can't physically lift a larger a larger art book up. Which
that's a good point.
Which I think having a paperback and then like the PDF available for people to scroll through is going to be really accessible too as well. So
yeah, thanks. I didn't even think about that. For sure, and because it's print on demand, I can set up a paperback and have them in my booth. So even if like the Kickstarter doesn't get unlocked for paperbacks, I can still do that through the print on demand and still have them in my booth. And I mean, so the hardcover trade edition, the deluxe edition that's going to have remarks in it, and I'm trying to talk to a company about doing a custom dust jacket with like foil embellishments and stuff for
Ooh.
the deluxe. Yeah. And some maybe some other extras in there. I haven't decided on that yet. That's going to probably be $60 a book. I think that's kind of average for a nicer art book.
Yeah.
The trade edition, I think I'm sitting right at 40 or 45. And then the paperback would probably have to be 30. So it's not like the paperback edition would be, a $15 book. It would still be a hefty book.
Right.
But it's still 8.5 by 11 and 80 pages.
It'll be a tome.
Right. Absolutely.
How many pages is this thing?
As of right now, 80.
80 pages? That's not too bad. Not too bad.
But it's 11 by 8.5 landscape style. So it's a larger book. But it's to hit that art book,
Yeah.
Because it is.
That artwork, you wanna open it up, you wanna have the book fold, lay down nicely, and then get to have the full display going on. So
Right.
Yeah, that'd be excellent.
Yeah. So I've got the Kickstarter graphics, the base graphics in. I'm currently finishing the cover for the book so I can start getting mock-ups in, and I can start dropping those on the Kickstarter because all the tiers have graphics, all the stretch goals have graphics, all the unlocked stretch goals have graphics, all the headers have graphics.
So another marketing point that you may not have thought of, a lot of people like to look at these older flower books too for either names of children that they're kids or characters in their books. So they could be an author resource to be able to look into and have like a flowery names and then now with the dictionary, kind of like the feelings and emotions like associated,
the sentiments that goes with it,
the sentiments that go with that name, so you can like kind of like create a whole host of characters around different things.
So fun little Easter egg if you know me personally. There's a particular flower where the meaning of it is a vulgar mind. And I actually gave that one a full illustration in the book because I have quite the vulgar mind.
What flower? What flower is that?
You know what? I'd have to look it up. It's been so long. I want to say it's like the Venus flytrap or something. But
Venus flytrap?
I think
probably.
That's what it is.
Eating,
so that's kind of an Easter egg for my friends. Be like, oh my gosh, it's her, and I'm gonna be like, yes.
Do you have the corpse flower thing, the smelly one in there? Do you know if that's in there?
You know what? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there's a bunch of lilies. I'm pretty sure it's in the lily family.
Yeah, it would have been really cool to do almost like a decomposting like rotted dragon for that. All of them look like we need the fungal dragons. Oh, we could just totally go into like spore dragons. We could do a whole nother series.
That would be cool. That would be cool. And
like mushrooms and spore dragons and things like that. That would be like a companion piece to this in such a great way.
Now you got me looking it up. Where is it? Oh, it's, the vulgar mind is the African marigold.
The African marigold.
So this is for those of you who are at home.
Oh my gosh, that is so pretty.
The illustration. So it's
African you married digital and watercolor to create these, correct?
So for this particular one, that's all digital because that one was from scratch. So let me go this one. Here we go. This is a good example. So this one, the butterfly and a handful. Sorry, I know this is terrible. The butterfly and like 3 of these irises are traditional, are watercolor. Everything else around it, the additional irises and the flowers at the bottom are all digital. So
let me just tell you, as somebody who's gotten to got a little sneak peek behind the scenes on this book, it is beautiful. And you'd be hard pressed to even tell the difference that this wasn't watercolor. Like,
Thank you.
Carla went above and beyond to match the style so correctly to her own watercolor style that it's fucking impressive. Sorry.
Thank you.
It's impressive because it's a beautifully illustrated book, and I think that it's got it definitely would look great on a lot of different people's coffee tables, next to your art books. Just a great addition to your art books and stuff, and to flip out and just get ideas. Like if you're flipping through this book, you're going to get ideas for watercolor ideas, for planting ideas, for companion piece planting if you're a gardener, and all kinds of things. You could create a whole mood dragon garden based on this.
Oh yeah. If you're like dark humor or goth, I mean, there's a bunch of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those flowers have really dark meanings, like surprisingly dark meanings. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to do like emotionally themed gardens, that's actually absolutely something you could do. And it's interesting to see the meanings and how they play out. And it was a secret code, right? So when I was doing research on the book itself, it talked about how, especially in England and Europe during the mid to late 1800s, people were obsessed with secret codes. And so you would send, your secret lover a bouquet of flowers that would have the meanings of, various things that you would to do together.
Little saucy.
It gets pretty saucy.
Or if somebody was mad at
someone.
you,
mm-hmm.
if you were mad at somebody,
absolutely.
My lover is mad at me, I must go make amends immediately.
Right.
Or something to that nature. And
there's different, there's
are we really taking one of our episodes of Here Be Dragons to pitch Carla's epic You're damn right we are.
Right.
Damn right we are. We're going to use every platform imaginable.
I might just be a little self-serving, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it does.
And we're going to drop it in the show notes too, so it's going to be on. YouTube. The Kickstarter link will be on YouTube as well.
Absolutely. But it is a massive dragon that I'm facing for sure. And the business, I've run a lot of Kickstarters, and the logistics.
Massive flowery dragon.
Exactly. The logistics of putting together a Kickstarter, and it's interesting because a lot of my art friends have come to me asking, how do you run a Kickstarter? And I could teach a class on running a Kickstarter at this point. And
you really whipped this out in no time at all. It's taking you 3 days to whip it out. I mean, granted the hours that you put into making the book, but you've kind of burnt the midnight oil just throwing together graphics to get this launched in a short period of time so that you can have the funds by a specific date to fund other things creatively. Like this is all going into a flow cycle to keep creating, to keep making art, to keep flying, to keep riding our dragons,
Right.
So
and
we would rather be riding our dragons than facing them.
Yes. Tame it. Yeah. I was up till midnight last night in Photoshop, jumping between Photoshop and Canva and Google Drive and the Kickstarter to get the graphics laid out and then in the right place and making sure that they fit in the right thing, and relearning Kickstarter's back end, which has changed a lot since my last Kickstarter a year and a half ago. And
with that look, it must not be for the better.
I'm not happy. No,
it must have gotten shitified too.
like everything else, they're trying to shoehorn AI. So the first page on the story was let us know what you're making and we'll write it out for you. And I was like, the fuck you will. And I had to figure out how to get around that, which was annoying.
So I really think your Kickstarter deserves your story. The story of this what it took to get this product made.
Yes.
Your story. I think that this really deserves the story of how this product came to be and why
For sure.
you're choosing why Kickstarter is the place to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of artists have abandoned Kickstarter for good reason, right? Kickstarter is allowing AI, and that's kind of BS. And a lot of them have gone to BackerKit, which is a good option too. When it comes down to brass tacks, most people still know what Kickstarter is versus BackerKit.
Right.
When you say Kickstarter, they've probably backed a Kickstarter. They probably know how the process is. They have an understanding, and they don't have to think too hard about what is BackerKit.
You have your email list from Kickstarters too. You have
Yes.
multiple different projects that you've done that you've collected emails from like quite a few people, and I don't know if that's transferable to BackerKit or how that works. We may have to research BackerKit a little bit more, and see like if it's worth. Like we might have to do like a test run, like on BackerKit, like a side project, try to get done on BackerKit. Just
BackerKit versus Kickstarter. And I know like BackerKit's trying really hard to be a really solid competitor, and I think they are. But again, it's that brand recognition, and most people have a Kickstarter already. They're in the system. All they have to do is like send themselves the new password and open it up, and that's it. So
yeah, I mean, wasn't the BackerKit initially like a fulfillment kind of a thing? Like they were hosting the projects, but they were like, that's what you would use with your Kickstarter to fulfill your orders, to fulfill your things. It seems like they're just cutting out the middleman.
Well, and I've used BackerKit for my last 2 Kickstarters. You migrate the back end of Kickstarter into the back end of BackerKit. You can set up an online store through BackerKit, and there's a lot more options in BackerKit. I've also found it clunky as hell.
Yeah.
Like
brand recognition is huge. Like, and sometimes like that clunkiness, like, but I mean, it might be like, it might be worth it if Kickstarter is going the route of AI. I mean, there's so many AI apps out there that are just getting developed and everything right now. And, it's ludicrous to think that we live in a world where AI is trying to replace the human creativity of things and human generation of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is we have to double down on the regulation of this technology so that for one, we should be able to utilize it in a way that does not destroy our planet.
Oh yeah,
of course. We should be able to utilize it in a way that the resources that it uses to create what it creates, everyone should be getting named and paid for that. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's ludicrous to me that they wouldn't have done just the extra work to regulate that and create that infrastructure. It means they only cared about their pocketbooks from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, that's very American, right? Yeah. Across the board. And again, I want this made, and I want it I want to get it off my digital shelf and get it out into the world. So like trying to make it as easy as possible and lower the bar of entry as low as I could go. That's all reasons I decided to go ahead and stick with Kickstarter, right? Nice. The people that I'm selling to, the people that have bought from me, the people that wanted the book originally are on Kickstarter, have emails tied into Kickstarter. And all I have to do is sign in and hit back, and that's it, right?
It might be worth if you hit a certain number amount to go ahead and order another run of Oracle decks and bundle those, because people really
that was what I was thinking today.
Some people really like bundles, and the Oracle deck along with it is a pretty powerful bundle.
I was thinking about that today, because I can order. So the Oracle deck is distributed by Llewellyn.
Right.
It's at Blue Angel Publishing, and then it's distributed in the US by Llewellyn. I just call Llewellyn and I order it by the case. So ordering a case of Oracle decks and putting it in, I was for sure going to do it as an add-on. I think you're right, doing it as like a rewards tier where you get the book and the Oracle deck for, at that point, it would be $80 if you got the deluxe edition.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, not at all. So yeah, I'm still playing with some stuff. So I'm going between like not rushing into setting
Not doing
everything
too
up,
much, but not doing too little.
but doing what people want. Yeah, like I was thinking about adding prints, but it was only going to be a limited of like 4 prints that people can choose from. I was thinking about offering originals, but it would only be like 4 originals and it would be per tier. Yeah. So instead of last time where they got an original and then they emailed me and then I marked it as reserved or whatever like that. I mean, I have all 45 originals from the original Oracle deck.
All right. I'm going to be super unprofessional right now and leave you for just a brief moment. So sing to yourself so that we don't have dead air. And I am going to take a little bit of a bio break because I apparently drank a lot of water before coming in here. So phenomena.
You jerk.
Sing it, Carla. Take it away.
No, that's gonna be in my head the rest of the day.
I'll be right back.
That's fine.
Sorry,
I'll
folks.
talk at the camera.
Sorry, folks.
It's all professional all the time here on Here Be Dragons. Yeah, I think bundling the book with the Oracle deck would be a really good idea. And I'm working on setting up the tiers. And that's really important, especially like from the business side of things, because again, you don't want to get overwhelmed. You see a lot of Kickstarters where, especially big Kickstarters, where now you have to start adding in stretch goals and stuff like that. And I've seen Kickstarters where businesses have gone under afterwards because they added too many add-ons or things ended up being more expensive and things like that. And that's not something that I want to get into because I'm still like, this is only one small leg of the business that I'm working on. I still have my fine art. I still have like Critically Epic. I have the children's line that I'm working on. So this is one small-ish leg in the ecosystem that is my art business. And to go too big would for sure be detrimental. And there are things that I know I can handle and that I know that I can't because I've done several Kickstarters before. So understanding that is a big deal.
I didn't hear singing.
Well, you won't hear singing.
Well, reiterate what you were saying so I can know what's going on.
Yeah. Just this is only a small leg in my entire art ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure to balance that out and not overdo it and not make too many add-ons and too many things and and get lost in the weeds.
Keep it small and concise and so the shipping's not too crazy and I don't think a book and an Oracle deck and a bookmark are gonna break anything.
Yeah.
Throw some stickers in there. Who knows? No.
The first Kickstarter I had scratch and sniff stickers I was going to do.
See, and that's why I did wonderful.
Well, again, that starts like noodling and getting, because that's stuff that I have to order. That's files that I have to set up. That's which is fine. And it's interesting because now that Kickstarter's been around for a few years, there's this like ecosystem and this expectation that if you launch a Kickstarter and you need $5,000 to make a product, mm-hmm. and you hit $50,000, well, you had better be offering all kinds of cool shit for every stretch goal. And so now the people that bought the book or the game or whatever at $50, now they're kind of expecting all of these extra add-ons for free because you hit that 50,000 mark.
Oh yeah.
And that's problematic for creators, right? That's what I was saying is I've seen creators go under because they had a viral Kickstarter that went huge and they promised all of these add-ons and stuff, and then when it came down to it, they couldn't cover the price of the add-ons.
No. I think it should be a tier. I think it should be an orderable tier. And like I said, like you said, keeping it small and concise, like soft cover at a certain tier. That's those are those are quality of life kind of things for that.
Right.
Not too crazy. So it's like, they get the soft though, so they'll have that. My only thing is, are they going to be able, like, choose ahead of time whether they want soft cover or hardcover, or is it initially it's all going to be hardcover?
Initially to be hardcover. That's the
Okay.
initial 5,000.
Okay.
If that, I think I have it marked down at like 10,000 or something like that. If we hit that stretch goal, that tier will open up.
So when will they be able, if people wanted, like, if they backed it to help get you to the finish line, but they would have preferred a soft cover, how do they switch that?
You can change your, you can change what you back on the back side of Kickstarter. It's pretty easy to change tiers.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Cool. This is why I haven't like driven the car yet. I've thought about releasing a sketchbook of sketches for a while now, and doing like a comprehensive sketch, like art book sketchbook thing of my sketches. I think that would be pretty successful for me with my sketches. So I didn't know that they could do that. That's great. That's
it's easy to change it in the backside or cancel or whatever
until
the Kickstarter ends.
Means folks, you can support it initially, help her get over the finish line, and then change it in the back end. So
yeah, hopefully not very
in
many
case you've
people
never
change it,
been to
because if it
Kickstarter,
drops back below the 5,000, then I'm hosed.
yeah, in case you've never been to Kickstarter before, there's options and stuff like that. But yeah. I think the Oracle deck bundle might be a strong contender though. And I think that so. Like having an $80 Oracle deck, a hardcover book edition bundle would be like,
right,
knock you over that that finish line pretty well.
So
yeah.
Well, and I know in the first one, like what I had wanted to do and what I still kind of want to do now that the book is currently in the forefront of my mind is I have all these bug dragons, and I think it would be so much fun to do like a field guide for the bug dragons. It's like sketched and then like themed like a Victorian scientist taking notes and drawing sketches and putting sticky notes and stuff like that in there. I definitely don't have the time to do that for this Kickstarter, but it's something that I would like to add on to this particular world.
What I think would have been really cool for like I know you didn't want to get into print, but having a huge like poster size print of like with all the dragons and flowers kind of being like the frame around in a poster, and then like having either like some of the so you get it, you're almost getting it as a poster that's frameable, a huge frameable poster with the dictionary stuff like in the middle and stuff, so they can go and reference that too as well. So I think that would have been really cool too to see as a product.
I've laid it out as a puzzle that's similar, where like you've seen like in Hobby Lobby and stuff, you've seen like the chili poster that's all the different kinds of chili on it, or I've got a layout similar to that already.
Oh, that wouldn't be hard to
that I could definitely that wouldn't be hard to do, because all of the butterflies that are in the deck are already like silhouetted and whatnot. So doing one where it's a mix of all of those, and you just have the 45 or 20 or however many fits on a poster size positive affirmations, that's doable.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool. I mean, because I could just see somebody wanting that like in their garden room or in their art room, and then just having pretty floral flowers and having a nice frame for it and stuff, and it just be like a really pretty piece to like definitely bring that cottage core, fairy core aesthetic into their whimsical space. because I think that would look really great too. Like the art book is great, but having your artwork on display also really great too.
Yeah, well, and that's something that would be easy to do after the fact too. Like I could do it as a order off the website or carry it at shows for sure.
Yeah. I'm thinking a poster would be really sweet with that. Not for this Kickstarter, but eventually for your like your store. I think.
No, I think it's a good idea. Yeah. And I have them like I designed a little banner that goes underneath that actually has the meaning, what the flower means, and
the cool thing is if you do something for your store inspired by this product, this Kickstarter product, and it's like a companion piece to it, you can still utilize that email and be like, oh, by the way, also this poster is available for backers first through this,
for sure. Do it as a timed release.
Yeah, time release to backers first before anybody else, and then they'll be like, because people like to think that they get something special.
Right, absolutely.
So I think that would be kind of cool to see eventually. Not right now, because you got a lot on your plate right now.
A lot on my plate.
Yeah, let me just add a little more stuff.
So yeah, I don't know if I mentioned because the gallery opening is going to coincide with the Kickstarter. So I'm planning the Kickstarter and I'm planning gallery opening with a live event
on the 18th.
So the gallery opening will be the 20th. So the 18th is a Thursday. The gallery opening will be on the Saturday.
So it'll go live on the 18th, and then the gallery opening is on the 20th.
Correct. And I'm hoping I'm hoping I've got friends from Las Cruces and El Paso and the surrounding areas that'll come see the gallery. And I'll put it in like the local paper. And then I have a friend of mine who does social media. I'm actually gonna have lunch with her tomorrow and talk about if she will manage the live event for me. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go around and we'll talk about, I'll have a sample of the book and we'll look at the different originals, because I've got like 15 originals in the gallery now.
Did you create your events already for?
Not yet. That's what I'm gonna do tonight. I just announced it. So it's officially announced as of today. I put it out on social media. Very scary.
I'm excited. This is cool.
You're probably more excited than I am. Now I'm just scared. There's a lot of emotions tied up with being the.
Don't be scared.
It'll be fine.
Carla.
It'll be fine.
Walk in the room and just lay your dick out there. That's how you become great, Carla.
Well, step one, have a dick.
I mean,
on that note,
let's just. Oh, come on, Carla. There's times when your dick is definitely bigger than my dick. I mean, it is. I have never, like, this is, I think every time you do, like, something like this, like, I have never experienced this because I would be kind of scared too. Like, for me, I would just make the product and see how it did in front of people making sales. But like doing this is almost like a critique in a way, like it's almost like putting your work out there in a way for people to critique it, and ask them if they see value in it, if they see value in this product. And like, while asking for a critique from another artist or from like a professor or something, you're trying to get feedback. You're still trying to get feedback from the market, from people, to see if what you're creating resonates and is viable with people. Mm-hmm. So, and that's a scary thing to do. Because it is a lot of, it is a lot of vulnerability, I think, to put what you love, what you've worked so hard for and created, out there for people, and then just have shit on.
right? Crickets. And there's so many moving parts too. Like in order to have a good Kickstarter, as you said, you can't hot drop it. And that's one of the first things I tell people, because everybody thinks like if you build it, they will come. That's absolutely not what happens. You have to have an audience. You have to have people you have to have people you can draw from. You have to be able to talk to other people who are willing to share that audience. And I think did we talk about that with Rose a little bit? No, I think I talked to her privately. So she ran a Kickstarter for a puzzle design and came to me at Vegas last year and said, how do I run a successful Kickstarter? And we sat down and I'm like, okay, you have to have an audience. You have to have an email list. You have to have lead time. You have to, plan it around some events, which that's been the hardest thing is I don't have any shows this summer. So I can't go to an event and hand out postcards for the Kickstarter, which is what I've always done. I've always planned it around one of my big events. So the people that come into my booth have a free bookmark, check out my Kickstarter, right? Or I've dropped off like bookmarkers around town, which I could totally still do.
I don't think that it's a week, but you could ship it to me. Like if you express ship some postcards to me,
it's all right.
I'll put it out on my booth.
Thank you. No, it's all right.
I don't know if it'll get here on time, but
it would. I would make sure of it. Well, and I have the bookmark design from like the previous Kickstarter, but I think like I'm the bookstore that I'll be in this summer because I have to get a day job. The one that runs it is my best friend too, so I can put bookmarks out at the bookstore and have them give them out there. So like you need to have some kind of an audience. You have to have lead time. At least I like to do a month. This is only going to be, what did I say, like 18 days, which I don't like doing, but I do have a $1,500 or 1,500 person email list. I do have the previous Kickstarter. I do have, there was some inertia that I gained from last time that I'm tapping into. You have to make sure that you are able to push through while the Kickstarter is running. So even if you're funded the first day, you still need to keep pushing it. And you still have to make sure you have content for that whole thing. And
keep in contact with the people who have already
correct.
And they want to know when they're getting their product and how long it's going to take and all that good jazz. So
absolutely. Yeah. Talking to the people that, especially if they're giving you their money, like just.
The good thing is this product's made. Yes. We're just putting it in a pretty hardcover binder and making sure it lives in Carla's got to make sure it lives in your library.
Yeah. For sure. It's done.
So that's fucking awesome. Oh, that's so cool and so scary and like it's so interesting seeing you like go through this process and panic
at 11 o'clock at
night. Get it done. Like Brian said, get it done.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, this is really cool. It's
Thank you.
It's cool to see the process and it's cool to know that and I'm glad to know something like this exists to be able to help artists realize their dreams, because it'd be really hard without it. Like it'd be really hard without that avenue or that accessibility. It would be much slower for some of these products to get done, and it's viable because like the bigger companies have tried to sneak in and take up space in that.
That's been really, and what's interesting is it's really bad with the gaming department, like the gaming companies. Not all of them, but it's like they're using Kickstarter to test the water. So they could afford to do a game run and to hire the artists and to do all this other stuff, but instead they do it on Kickstarter because like the gaming Kickstarters are huge right now. So we're going to put it on Kickstarter and see what happens. And if it, gets enough people, then we'll publish it, or we're going to publish it anyway, but Kickstarter will be the pre-order. And these are people that have the
seed money for something that you were already going to do.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like the first plushie I did was through Kickstarter. And I was able to get 2 plushies done. And what was nice is that when we got the plushies made, I was able to go to another manufacturer company who makes plush and say, this was how many units I sold. This was what I did. This is what, yada. And they signed on. They bought out the rest of my stock, which was like 800 plush. They bought it out. They paid to have it shipped to their company, and then they made 4 additional plush on top of that.
Wow, sweet.
Yeah. This was a couple of years ago. It was carried in medieval times for several years.
Yeah, I think you should. Didn't you take a picture of going to medieval times?
Yeah.
Get a picture with your plush.
Yeah. I was so happy. So if you have a successful Kickstarter, that is leverage to get your products put somewhere else, or and the same thing, like if you want to do like a second edition of something, I did this one art book, it did really well. Like I was just talking about, like doing the field guide. I think that'd be super cute. And then that would like give me people to tap into, going, well, you bought the first book, here's the field guide that matches that.
Field guide of insect dragons. I just gave you like some mushroom dragons. Like you could do a whole nature, you could do a whole nature themed field guide. And all of it would look good together.
Yeah, for sure.
In a cohesive kind of cottage core naturalist, fantastical way. Kind of loving it. Kind of loving it.
Yeah, this could. I mean, it. If I had wanted to put the time and energy in it, it would absolutely be a brand on its own, right? Because I had thought about like beauty products that entangle the meaning of the flower along with the beauty product and stuff like that, and candles, or I wanted
potion bottle candles. That would be kind of cool, with like the flower, like the smell of the flower. And
exactly.
Like the dragon as a label on there. Oh, that'd be fucking cool. We can do this, Carla.
Because we need to start another business together.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, I had. Well, and it was like the original, not the original idea, but the really excited. The idea that I had after the Oracle deck was to do like care baskets, right? So you have a care basket and the scent matches the flower, so you could get a basket that meant happiness and joy for a friend of yours, and now you're sharing that meaning of happiness and joy along with the scent of the flower, along with personal care products, right? I had kind of created a personal care brand, or had thought about it, and I had talked to several like soap makers and lotion makers and stuff like that, and I could never get anybody on board, and then the pandemic happened, and then like that.
Everything took a backseat after that.
Yeah, well, and I could white label it through some other companies, which wouldn't be a problem, but now I'm carrying soaps and lotions and stuff in my booth, and a lot of that has a shelf life, and that means I have to do a different kind of show. And I mean, there's only one of me, gosh darn it, and I've been working on cloning, and it's not working.
Well, and isn't that what licensing is for? Like, all you have to do is really show a business what could be created with this licensed product, and you don't necessarily have to make it yourself. You can just say, here's a mock-up, here's what you could do with these flower dragons, or if you felt so inclined, just give me a check. Like if you felt like, let me do the work for you of the design work.
The designs are done.
Let me give you the mock-up.
You just got to make the
you
product.
Make it, you carry it, you stock it, you promote it. Give me a check, and we'll call it good. You just
yes.
So, and that is the great thing about licensing, I think. Whereas, like, you just sit back, somebody else does the selling work and the product producing work of it. Yep. You sit back and you just take a check.
And I'm happy with 10%
because you created the idea.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a product I could see sitting next to bee balm.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Next to bee balm,
Burt's
like
Bees.
Yeah, like having the Burt's Bees, having right next to Burt's Bees, and just like floral dragons with
cottage industry for sure.
Cottage industry scents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whoever does licensing for Burt's Bees, like, get on the horn with Carla. It's selling itself.
Right?
I don't know what's wrong with you guys. You guys don't see the vision. Let me show you what the vision looks like.
Right? Exactly.
You back the Kickstarter, you're going to get to see the vision.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm excited. I've got a lot to do in I mean,
There might be a holiday poster coming out for in time for Christmas. We might get that poster produced in time for Christmas for the holiday to give as a gift for that special someone who likes flowers.
There you go. I can do that for sure. So yeah.
Totally.
Huh?
This is fun. I love just like dreaming up stuff, products to like make your work.
Oh, thanks.
Your work. Like, I wish I could do that with my shit, but
there's an inside joke between myself and most of my artist friends, and it's the, you know what you should do.
Yes.
And that's,
it comes up. Should do with that.
So every time I call a friend, I'm like, so you know what you should do, and we all laugh, and then I go, no, really, I have this great idea. And you never, like, with other, especially like professional or mid-professional level, like we understand what. I didn't mean that against you. Good grief. You may not consider yourself a professional. I consider you a professional, and that's all that matters.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you.
You're welcome, Alan. But that, like, the professionals, we know the work that goes involved, and you never know. Like, I'm always open for sharing my ideas, because you never know when something I say, if what I'm saying doesn't resonate, you never know when it's going to trigger something in your brain that's going to start a snowball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's because I am ADHD and I make pattern recognition and connections over the craziest flippin' stuff. But, like, by all means, please tell me your ideas. Because I want to, and you never know when I'm going to, like, pick a little teeny tiny piece of it and it's going to be an entire gigantic project.
Yeah. I have like wild ideas all the time. Like, in the course of this,
yeah, you do.
In this Here Be Dragons interview, like, I've had a poster idea. I've had an idea that I haven't even really talked to you about, like, just because it's so crazy and I don't know if it's invented yet.
It's going to be a long after interview, isn't it?
Like either like a digital oracle deck or tarot deck programs that do like so, but like having it to where like you buy a digital PDF of an oracle deck and you can just upload your whole file into that program of your different decks. And I was just like, that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, it would. I would imagine that there's something similar out there.
If not, we're using this as
right.
Copyright right here.
That codes, right? Yeah, for sure. It's funny. My therapist, who I've been seeing now for 7 years, get therapy, folks. It helps. But even like I talked to her and she's my therapist. I pay her to say this stuff. But even she's like, you have the best ideas. You need to just have a company that just makes your ideas. And I'm like, thanks. They're not all good, but I try.
They're pretty good, Carla. They're pretty good.
Thanks.
You've got several legs of business that you're reaching into right now. And
I don't know if it's smart, but here we go.
Yeah. Are you starting to feel like spread thin between them? Or is this like, I know you've said that this is how your ADHD works. This like, having multiple different things to like focus on helps you. But are you starting to see like, is it affecting your workflow or affecting your ability to generate ideas? Or
no, that hasn't been a problem. What I'm worried about becoming a problem is that this summer I do have to get a day job, and I will be working 2 days a week at the local bookstore. And my agent, I do emails and write cold emails for my agent, and he offered me more hours. So what I'm not looking forward to is the fact that 4 days a week, I will have to be filled with day job stuff. And a lot of this stuff will have to be like relegated back to nights and weekends. 4 days a week at a day job, that gives me 3 days a week to work on art. And as everybody's yelling at me about, I should be taking a day off, but it's just for the summer. Like, so that's why I'm like, I feel really rushed with this Kickstarter. And that's because I want, and not,
Sorry.
not like in a bad way. Like, I'm totally cool, like doing it because I want the money for something else, and I want to invest in something else. And I'm excited to do that. And, but like I start at the bookstore. Well, by the time this comes out, I'll have started at the bookstore. And that is what I'm not looking forward to, right? Like, I have all of these really great ideas, and they haven't panned out yet because they're all new. And then the change to fine art is new, and the critically epic coming back is new. And this has been sitting on the back burner for so long. Like, I'm completely rewriting I'm not changing out a couple of legs on my table. I've tossed out my old table and I'm carving a new one from scratch. Right. So that's a lot. And I have to compartmentalize to make sure I don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And I am coming out of burnout. So,
this seems like a great way to get back into burnout. like if I was thinking about it, I'd be like, wow, this seems like a great way to burn out. Like, honestly.
You know what though? Like, all three of these things I'm more excited about than I've been excited about anything in a really long time.
Right.
Totally. So that I love. Like, I love sitting here talking to you over the podcast and coming up with other ideas and talking to other artists. Like, that's all a big deal. Like, that's a big thing for me. And then, designing critically epic to be one of the core legs. I love what we've been talking about with that. And I love doing that kind of art. And I think that could grow to be something really good in a different way. And then, like, doing the research on the fine art stuff, the book and critically epic is less about making art, right? It's about making a design and making several products based on that art. But it's not like the fine art, and it's not like my dragons were, where you have to keep up with the market. You have to constantly make paintings, that kind of stuff. Now, I love that, and I love what I'm doing with the fine art stuff, and I love.
They are specifically products. They are specifically creative products designed to fulfill a purpose.
Absolutely, which is a different part of my brain and a different way of thinking, and so I love that. And I have a partner to do that stuff with, so that makes it easier. And the fine art is a different feeling, and I do currently have still time to paint. I worked on the lion this week. I didn't get very far, but that's okay. I did just get back from Vegas. There's a lot going on, and I'm excited about all of it, and it hasn't gotten too much yet. There's personal stuff that's kind of getting in the way a little bit.
Well, and then the working 4 days a week might push it into burnout territory.
I have to be careful, and I know that.
Yeah. But also, you should look at working as taking like perception is a lot of it. Like,
for sure.
Like, we can still be, even while we're working, we can still be thinking about our creativity and what's going to be happening, what we're going to do to maximize our efficiency later. And like, I get a lot of my best ideas from my day job, working with children, working in a creative environment where I can at least take in new input and new experiences. Because trying to fabricate, new ideas in a bubble, sometimes like those ideas get stagnant. So getting out, doing new things, even though doing emails on the back end might not be, but working in a bookstore, you'll have new people coming in. You'll be putting new books out. You'll see new artwork on these books. You'll be inspired in different ways. So hopefully it's not all bad.
Yeah. And the woman that runs it is a friend of mine, and she's doing a lot to work with me, and we'll see. And we're figuring out in what capacity I'll be there for. It may be that I'm doing stuff in the back room. It might be that I'm, ordering stuff. Which I adore doing because I love the business just as much, right? And I've worked in that capacity there before. So I'm the one that brought in all the gaming and nerd stuff. And, but when I started working there, she was just games and books and toys. And at the time I was doing conventions and I saw the rise of conventions. So I was, going back in when I get back from the convention, I'd go in and be like, hey, games are doing really well and nerd stuff is doing really well. So she started to bring in that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And was allowing me to.
Is that still doing pretty well for her store then?
I think so. She's basically a mini Hastings.
Oh, nice.
So I know she backed off games a little bit because the market changes, right? So when games were doing really, really well right after the pandemic, like a quarter of her store was games. And now
and if you have somebody hosting and running games, that usually tends to help.
Yes, and we had tried that. I tried doing that several times because this is a transient town and it's all tourism. It was never not happening. I mean, we even had just game tables set up during busy weekends, and so getting people to sit down and play anything was difficult.
So is this in Rio Doso? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's all tourism. We lost the racetrack last year after the floods. But there was a racetrack, 3 casinos, a ski mountain, and hiking trails. And that's it. Oh, we have 4 lakes. Well, no. One of them's kind of back. Though we lost another one because of last year's fires. We've had 4 really bad, weather tragedies in the last 2 years between the fire, 2 summers of flooding, and an ice storm. And the thing with the flooding is it's not like it floods once. It floods every time it rains during the monsoon season. And the flood waters don't rise and then secede. They rush down the mountain. So you have, last year, the river rose by 20 feet.
Jesus.
And it's usually literally about this deep. That one, 2 people died. Massive amounts of houses and destruction. And
that's not a stressor at all.
That's the other thing. Well, we have a fire going on just 30 miles north of me, and
that's just that's just the external factors without the pressures that you're generating yourself.
Yeah.
So take into a global context of what people are doing, and then we're just I'm
fine. This is all fine. I'm fine.
It's all fine.
I'm fine.
You are in a straight pressure cooker is what you are.
I'm fine. It's all good. I'll get there one panic attack at a time. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Well, it's like what I told you the other night. It's the future is going to try and chew you up and spit you out regardless. So we might as well shoot our shot.
Right. Well, and if I'm starting all of this at the worst possible time, it can only go up, right?
Exactly.
Put a pin in that for the next 5 years.
Well, I mean, and the cool thing is that, you have product, you have the ability, you have these things, you have things that are tried and true and that, do make money. And you've actually sustained yourself for many years on these products and things like that. You just have to keep, making new products to satisfy, older customers, and breaking into new markets so people can see what your products now and previous, and what you're going into. I think this podcast is really great because we can get advice and insight from artists, authors, people who are, we kind of see the road signs and see how things are going.
For sure.
And, we can pivot if we need to pivot. We can scale back if we need to scale back. And it's important as an artist to know when you've overextended yourself. I think, and I think that maybe getting those jobs this summer is kind of
calling me out.
and getting
I don't know what you're talking about overextending. That's not a problem. Leave me alone. What? I don't know.
And not just for you, but for everyone, Carla.
You're just using me as the example.
I mean, it's the shoe fans, but I'm joking. uh, we want to make sure that, we don't, like, burnout is a real thing. And sometimes,
Yes.
sometimes burnout is actually for creatives, it's not avoidable.
No.
And
No.
and actually burnout, sometimes you actually have to drive through the damn fire to get to the other side.
Literally.
So
Literally. Not that I've never done that. Oh no.
and that's the risk you take when you're an artist in this market and this timeline that we're in, where we're constantly being devalued, and where we have an abundance of people and resources creating artwork. I know you wanted to touch on that a little bit. We have an abundance of resources, and there are more artists right now than I think ever before.
Hands down. It is the easiest to be an artist right now and it's, when I started, it was heavily gatekept, right? You had all these old guard artists that didn't want to share their tools or techniques because they were worried that you were going to outsell them or take their place or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I even up to a few years ago, I still heard that, the fine artist gatekeep kind of thing. And that's not really an issue. You have YouTube, you have Skillshare, you have Udemy, you have artists that are individually making programs themselves. Schoolism. I mean, I took a 3-hour class today on painting glow from an artist who just did it herself and put it on a website and sold tickets. And, she's done a few different workshops now. I mean, anything that you want to learn, you can learn. I went to college for 2 months and then dropped out, not knowing at the time I was ADHD. And like my freshman year of college, there was very few art classes even available for freshmen because they were being filled up by upper freshmen and they didn't have enough teachers. So even if I had wanted to continue through an art degree, it would have been 2 semesters before I could even get into like a drawing 1 class. Now you can take a free class on YouTube, and as long as you have the wherewithal and the gumption to stick with it, you can stick with it. You can learn anything that you want to learn, which is awesome.
Even if you have the skills, I mean, not saying, even if you've built these skills up and you do this, it's still going to be difficult. It's a hard road. Yeah. Being an artist is hard, especially with so many people wanting to do art now. And trying to make this an avenue and a path that for their livelihood. Sure. One of the things I think about, though, is like, excuse me, lost train of thought.
You have to wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
It can't it's the table, right? You can't just have one leg under your table. You can't make art, go to show and sell it. You can, unless you're like viral or do something really unique that you're probably not going to sustain. Like there's 2% of the artist population that's doing that. But we all have multiple baskets for multiple eggs. We all have licensing or shows or online sales or lives or,
a lot of people, a lot of artists, even professional artists, have some type of support structure through family, through spouses, through other means. And like, shout out to all those people who provide that support structure to their spouses and to a support structure to people, because it is really hard to like you provided an avenue for someone to invest in their dreams, and that's really amazing. That you work so hard and that you're helping somebody else, and hopefully it's kind of a reciprocal kind of thing where everything is awesome. One of the thing I was wanting to bring up is that also, because we talk a lot about art markets on Here Be Dragons, there are some art markets that are based on your prestige and not necessarily your skill level.
Right.
The prestige of where you went to school, the prestige of who you are, your name or your influence in a specific region. And that prestige can sometimes dominate out over somebody's skill level or their ability to create. So it is really hard to break into those markets that are gate kept by prestige. And so, just keep plugging away. And, hopefully we all, like I said, one of the reasons I think Here Be Dragons exists is so that we put information out there so that people can learn and grow, and all ships kind of rise with the tide, and we can all, be a flight of dragons and just, soar overhead. Huh?
Good movie.
Yeah. But sorry, I kind of went off on a little tangent there.
No, it's all good. It's true. And I never see other artists as direct competition. Like, people are going to buy from me, people are going to buy from you, people are going to buy from both of us. Like another artist being at a show doesn't automatically make me feel like, oh, the money pool is now low or liquidated or spread too thin or whatever, because people are going to buy what they like no matter what. And
yep.
one of my arguments against, so things like my biggest issue with AI is not the work itself. It's not the imagery itself. It's the ability to flood us out. It's the ability to post 30,000 images on Facebook every day, as opposed to the 1 or 2 a week that I could do. Right.
It's the time it takes to generate something versus the time it takes to craft something authentic.
Exactly. And it's the same. I mean, it could be the same thing at shows, because grifters are going to grift. And if you have a show that's, allowing AI artists in that are taking up spots from artists, that starts becoming a problem. And like, I will admit that I'm a little bit of an art snob. I pay higher dollar booth fees. What are you smiling at me about? What? Shut up. We're going to have a talk later. I happily pay higher booth fees for shows to keep out, the 3D printers and the candy makers and the street, those people absolutely have a place. And it's usually street vending or something like that, or smaller shows or local, that's all fine. And I'm in a bunch of vendor boards, and there's a lot of people that are screaming about how it's not fair that your booth fee is so high because I can't get in. And I'm like, oh no. That's why I pay the higher booth fee, is so I'm not competing against 3D printed toys or the freeze dried candy, and they're writing the backs of candy produced. I've got freeze dried Skittles. Oh, you've got Skittles, and there's that brand recognition, right? And I'm going up a tier by moving into the fine art market, right? Now I'm going from paying a $300 booth fee at a mid-tier Ren Fair to a $600 booth fee at a fine art show that's all fine artists, right?
And that booth fee cost goes back into the art at that point. It goes back into the art price at that point. Yeah. Because everything scales up.
For sure.
So it's like going fishing for bigger fish.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. And it's for the audience too, right? Like, I'm paying those booth fees for a particular artist or a particular customer and a particular mentality, right? So if I'm at a fine art show that's going to be curated for fine artists, the clientele that are coming are aware of the fact that they're going to be spending $500 to $10,000 on original art. Where if I go to a street fair or a local downtown market, there's nothing wrong with those
democratically
at all. Right. But that's the people who are coming to those shows are going to want to buy $5 bookmarks and $20 prints.
Right.
They're not, I'm not saying it never happens, but it's very rare that you're going to do a street festival at $30 a booth fee and have somebody walk in and they're going to buy a $7,000 original off your wall. And it's the customers, right?
We call that a unicorn.
Yes, absolutely. It's the customer mentality that you're setting up to sell to. It's the same thing, like you asked earlier, who I thought my customer was for the book.
Right.
Your smirking totally made me lose my train of thought. But
you focus way too much on my facial expressions. This just does what it wants.
Right? It's in my face, Mom. Yeah, so I'm and hopefully, right, there's a lot of shows that you have to vet. I don't usually do first year shows. Like I've got a whole system that I do. And you're going after a certain clientele. These are the people that I want to hold my originals or to hold my prints or to hold my, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. As opposed to, again, a street festival, the likelihood of somebody walking in and buying that original is low. So I don't do them. I have done them in the past. I never did very well. I don't do them anymore.
I will say that fine art festivals are kind of that closed circuit, prestige kind of thing. So that may be one dragon that you come up against breaking into that thing. But I think enough people who have migrated into fine art that they've the pitfalls and stuff and kind of like lit the way for you a little bit. So
yeah, well, and I also understand that my work is incredibly unique, and it already is going to appeal to the higher dollar amount, right? I'm painting on gold leaf. I'm putting in lapidary. I've got opals. I just spent $100 on garnets to drop into some pieces. I just, they're like that. The art show curators, yeah, absolutely. The art show curators get excited about that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. It's almost sculptural. There is some sculptural elements in it. It's not just, and I don't want to use just. I've got plenty of that too, but it's.
And I've seen these designs in person, and I've seen people come across from like 20 or 30 feet away just to go look at some of these pieces. So these pieces are definitely amazing. They're going to be a great curated show, and any type of gallery would be lucky to have Carla's work represented in them. So definitely reach out to Carla here at DragonLadyArt.com. If there's any galleries watching,
right? I need to figure out how to photograph them, and I need to figure out, like, I'm still working out a couple of details, making prints and things like that. But I think the work will not speak for itself, because that's rarely what happens. But I think some of these fine art showrunners will be able to see the value that I can bring to their shows. It's getting enough of the work done. It's getting enough pieces together and finished that I have at least 15 pieces and prints and small products.
And this opens the door. Moving into fine art also opens the door into another pathway that you may not have considered, and that is like the contemporary gallery scene, the contemporary museum scene. For sure. Where you're shipping your work off to places and having it being shown to whoever comes through into that gallery space that day. I think there are some instances where they try to sell them. I'm not sure, but they're definitely, it's being shown as a whole, like
collection,
like the Carla Morrow collection.
Yeah. I have several fine artist friends who have their fingers in that world already, that have already told me that when I'm ready for that, they will introduce me to a few people and kind of get me in. Or, like I said, introduce me and see what happens.
So you've got 30 years of contacts, Carla, that you definitely have cultivated, and really I haven't met any one of like artist people that that have, no, I'm not gonna come on the show. Like everybody that you've asked is just like, sure. It's just amazing people. Jeff, we did a little class with Jeff, and speaking with Jeff is just like talking to some like art guru on a mountain, who just blows your fucking mind every time you talk to him.
Yeah, spend a whole week with him in Vegas.
Yeah, you spent a whole week with him in Vegas, which need to put that on my calendar. Need to create my little Vegas slush fund.
I'm telling you. Yep. Yeah, that's Vegas Licensing Expo, which I just got back from a week ago. It's funny because like all of the people that I talk to that either don't know me or casually know me or are local people, oh, I just got back from Vegas. Oh my gosh, did you have all the fun? Did you, and they're thinking that I drank and I did drink at the party a little bit, only 2 drinks. But I didn't gamble. Like I don't.
Dr. Seuss was hosting.
Well, I mean, no. Well,
he is MC.
It was DJ'd by the Cat in the Hat, and I partied with the Dr. Seuss licensing crowd. Say that in public to people who don't understand what you're talking about. Yes. But like we do the licensing convention. The licensing convention starts at 9 a.m. and we often have meetings, like breakfast meetings. So we meet at 7:30 for breakfast, and a lot of it's just the artist, or if we have other meetings, we have other meetings. We go to the convention at 9. We're in marketing conventions with other companies talking about how
Does Joe just call it a meeting so he can write it off?
No, they're all. Oh, okay, yes, he does. That's very true. He has everything billed to his room so he can write it off on taxes, of course.
Yes,
that's a smart way to do it because my agent's a smart cookie. But from 9 until 5:30, we're in meetings, or we're talking to walk-ups, or we're talking to like fabric companies, we're talking to diamond art companies, we're talking to toy companies and figurine companies and coin making companies and all of these other people.
Which is why Critically Epic has a huge advantage and leg up, because you already have infrastructure and stuff built into the licensing.
Exactly. And then that 5:30 hits, and we literally grab dinner on the way back to the hotel room, and we sit, like one of the other artists, Bridget Ashwood, gets a suite, and we all meet in her room, or we DoorDash. And we have dinner in her room, and then we talk art for the next 4 hours. And it's business, and it like people shared numbers this year about how they're up or down on the market.
People sharing numbers?
That's
a lot of vulnerability and trust.
There are 8 people in this room, 6 to 8 people who are artists, full-time artists. There is not a single ego in that room. Not a single ego. We share techniques, we share numbers, we share markets, everything. I'm getting goosebumps just telling you about it because I love it so much. It makes me so happy, and I think
it's really special. I think it's really special to have cultivated that.
I'm getting misty-eyed. Oh my gosh!
A pool of artists like that. I mean, and I know amazing. It's not you specifically, but it's you in combination with Joe.
It's a collective. Yeah. And it's a program through Joe. I do spend $1,000 extra to get into to do that. So I have my own banner in the booth, because those booths are $5,000 each. He gets a double booth, so we're talking $10K right off the bat. Right. So we've all invested in that, and it's curated, right, to make sure that they get along with all the artists and are doing well and things like that.
Someday we'll spend $2,000 and put Critically Epic up there.
Yeah, right. There you go. Absolutely. But it's just, David Lozo, who's become one of my favorite people, he was doing something with his paint. And so he sets up and he paints there, right? So they get him a booth and he live paints the whole week. And while he was setting up, I was like, dude, how do you do this technique? And he just gave me a lesson right then and there. And he's like, I have gouache you can play with if you want to come over later and play with my paints, and it was just, I ended up not doing that, because as soon as he told me the technique, I was already a technique I was already doing. Anyway. And and he asked me how to adapt his work for puzzles. And we talked about that for, half an hour. And when you get into, I feel like I found my tribe for the first time in my entire life, and the first time in 22 years of being an artist. I feel like I have found my tribe, and I love every single one of them. We're in a group chat. There may have been some inside jokes and discussion about some smut books that ended up becoming inside jokes that we talked about all week, which was hilarious. And like, yeah, I always come home with my cup completely full. We always go home with new ideas. We're always super sad when we leave.
Speaking of smut, and I want to throw this out there because I don't want to lose my train of thought. Sorry. It's a local bookshop who's going to be doing like an ACOTAR thing. You
Okay,
familiar with
that would be
ACOTAR
A Court of
series?
Thorn and Roses.
Yeah, I didn't know. I haven't read
yeah.
that. I haven't read that series, but
Yes.
apparently it has to do with like dragons and
Uh-huh.
meeting up with like bonding with your writer or whatever,
The Fourth
or
Wing?
something. There's like
Oh God, so Fourth Wing is the one on dragons. A Court of Thorn and Roses, I believe, is because I haven't read A Court of Thorn and Roses. I have read her.
is a Court of Throne of
Throne of
Roses
Glass.
not dragons then, or is that?
I've only read the first book, so I could be wrong, but I know Fourth Wing is the big smut dragon book series
Okay,
that's
well,
really, really
one
popular.
of them, she wanted me to draw like dragons, like well, the concept what she pitched to me at the bookstore like sounded like I was like, oh, this sounds like Dragon Riders of Pern with sexy times.
I mean, get that money.
She wanted me to like maybe like offer drawing dragons or something at the thing for like $10 a pop, and I'm like, which is, I mean, it's a sweet. I love this bookstore, but I'm probably not going to do that. They're probably a college student that probably wants that job. But I mean, it's interesting. Like people love these fandoms so much that they want to do special like things for it.
Yeah, for sure. Events and stuff.
Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think artist collectives. Now to go back to our regularly scheduled program. I think artist collectives are a huge benefit um, to creatives, to artists, to finding your tribe, staying social with them, advocating for one another, promoting and helping each other. Because we are technically in competition, but our work is so much stronger when we help elevate one another.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important to talk to people that understand intimately what you're going through.
Yeah.
Right? Because most of my friends in my local area are like business owners. So they understand what it's like to run a business. But they don't understand what it's like to have to 100% make all of your own products and then run your business on top of that.
Right.
And so and having other people that I can literally DM and go, hey, I need a new print vendor. Who do you got? And they're more than happy to give me that information.
That's pretty sweet.
Or I'm struggling with this technique. Let me take a picture of this piece. Or and I can't figure out this the way this piece is laid out or composition, whatever. I have a stable of friends that I can ask instantly, and they're not going to be like, oh, that's the best thing I've ever seen. And not that I don't love those friends as well, but they understand I'm not looking for a head pat. I'm looking for a, wow, okay, yeah, you really messed up this corner here. You need to fix that.
I know. I think I did that to you yesterday. I think you were sending me something for a head pat, and I go, that bird's wing is really.
You've got a tangent going on. What is your problem? I'm gonna start calling you Tangent Lady. No, I never expect head pats when I send you stuff. I always expect you to hopefully point something out, please.
I did.
Because that makes you did. Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
That was the first glaring. I thought you would want to know.
I did, absolutely, and I'm appreciative of that for sure. Yeah, no, I love that, and I love that I have friends that will call out my BS, and you get so wrapped up in a piece that you just don't see some of that stuff anymore, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's like when you're putting together, like if you're photo bashing and stuff, the photo bash has enough contrast in the images that you're using that it may not like register, like not like the contrast in the photo, like the images are reading okay, but when you apply your illustrative technique and the colors that you want to use, then it's like, oh well, now this is reading flat. So
Right.
you gotta kind of like,
For sure.
so.
No, I loved it. I was great. I was happy that you corrected me.
We gotta have a T-shirt that says "Crit Me Harder, Daddy."
Crit me harder, Daddy. Yeah, there you go. I agree.
Or mommy, whoever.
Whatever.
Crit Me Harder mommies out there, for the hardcore mommies.
On that note,
yeah, we should probably wrap it up.
So this was an awesome conversation. This is pre-recorded. It will go up on the 20th, 22nd? Shoot, no. The 15th.
No. So it'll go up.
The 8th. I'm sorry, the 8th. This is going up the 8th.
Yeah, 8th. This is going up on the 8th. So this is go up pre-recorded, go up on the 8th of June. And then our next interview will be with Alexander Gustafson, and will be who's an award-winning professional illustrator, and makes really fucking cool maquettes too.
Yeah, he's a brilliant sculptor. Yeah, I'm excited about that. And then I think the next week we're talking again to Brian W. Parker, where we're going to discuss.
We are.
Okay. He just approved it. We're good.
Sweet. Awesome.
So that'll be it'll be, I think, a little bit different episode where would like it to be more of a round robin, where we talk about the goals of our art and what we're hoping it will, how we hope it affects people and brings joy in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I would love to do and I don't know how many people can come on Restream, but I would love to do at least like once a month. You talked about with your artist group having like check-ins once a month. I would love to do at least offer it to the people who have come on in the past.
That would be cool.
To do just kind of like an artist roundtable collective, kind of like working on projects or talking and stuff and chatting like once a month, and see if they get any value with cross promoting and talking with other professional artists.
Yeah, for sure.
Gallery people, like we've had authors, we've had gallery owners, we've had quite an interesting cast of creative guests.
My agent would like to come on. I've got another person who is actually she's the business manager for Jasmine Beckett Griffith of Strangelings.
Nice.
She asked to come on a couple of days ago. She texted me excited. She's like, I'm episode 3 and it feels like we're in the room just talking. I love this. So then she's like, if you have me on, I thought I could talk about these topics. And she sent me like a paragraph of stuff that she could talk about.
Oh yeah.
Which would be really cool to have. I mean, a business.
No, I think this stuff kind of, I mean, you have to get through our brash, vulgar humor, but I mean, I think we're providing interesting insight and trying to pull that curtain back on an industry, on several like art markets, with like what goes into like becoming a professional artist, becoming a professional creative, and what it takes financially, but also what it takes spoon wise, mentally, what keeps you going. And I think that's where we're kind of really trying to push that here on the Here Be Dragons Artcast. So
yeah, well, and the different routes you can take too, because and this is a conversation I've actually had a lot in the last couple of weeks with several of my artist friends of, when you're a little kid and you're like 8 or 9, you're like, I'm going to be an artist when I grow up. Like everybody around you automatically hears you're going to make art, you're going to go to shows, and you're going to sell it, right? Because that's what we understand an artist to be. And then starve, and then you die, and then your art becomes valuable after you die, right? Like that's the way things are supposed to go. But they don't realize that there are so many different art avenues, right? There's corporate art, there's there's licensing, and there's toy design, and there's pattern design, and there's and everything that you touch.
I know. I was in a liquor store the other day and I was looking at these designs on these bottles, and I'm just like,
absolutely.
shit.
Packaging.
Yeah.
Packaging design.
Packaging design. You
Yeah,
know, the
of course.
bottle art, the can art.
Mhm.
I'm just kind of like, holy shit, these are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, who's making this art? Where do I submit?
Right. And then, you know, you've got game art. And then within that, you have the TTRPG, you have the board game art, you have, you know, video game art, you have, and there's so many different avenues.
And this is all without like, this is all without like the traditional routes, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are all just like,
absolutely.
These are companies out there that are putting, you know, designing products with artists' work on them to be sold to other things. So, like, yeah, being an artist right now is like, gotta get to work, baby.
Yeah, and well, and understanding like how to get into those markets, and that, you know, and that they exist at all, and like within the next week or so, when I did my post about Licensing Expo, I had 4 artists reach out and ask me to talk to them about Licensing Expo and if it was worth it for artists to go to. And so probably in the next week or so, I'm going to be giving a lecture on Licensing Expo in Vegas.
Oh, sweet. So like,
yeah, I need to pick a date.
Put that under your like, you know, you're actually now a lecturer. Like you are talking of, you can go do, and you know, if you're doing lectures, that's one thing you can also do. Sometimes these schools pay artists to come and talk. Yeah. So if you're willing to take the time, it may be like $100, maybe $200. But hey, if it's within drivable range, go into the school and talk to junior high kids or high school kids or community college kids and be like, you know, there's multiple different pathways to get where you need to go. You just have to realize that it's not going to be like, if one door closes, you have to realize there are thousands of different doors you can walk through.
Thousands of other doors.
There's thousands of other doors. You can just like that door. Who knows if it's going to open again? You know, you can wait around and just keep kicking that door and pout, or you can just find another door and go through that door.
Yep.
You know, and
absolutely.
Keep on trucking.
Absolutely.
So I think that would be super. That's like something I would do. Like if I had an opportunity, I would definitely go around and talk to kids about being creative, staying creative as an avenue. And that's where it's like you're getting into the nonprofit aspects of art and the art as a keeping the arts alive kind of thing, which can be an avenue for an artist and another leg. But
yeah, for sure.
Sorry about that. We're running a little bit over.
No. Well, and I know, and I did want to touch on too, like we've talked about doing a lot of this stuff through Here Be Dragons, right? Yeah. Having like working on the Discord, putting a Discord together, having sketch nights, or having lecture. We can do a lecture series. Like we would like to see Here Be Dragons expand into other markets for sure. And other ways of helping the artistic community as a whole. Totes
my goats.
Right. Thanks, Ellen. This has been fun.
Thank you, Carla. I think, super excited about your Kickstarter, and I think we covered that in depth as far as like how things could go and work, and how you're gonna just conquer this dragon and ride it on out of here.
Yes, exactly. That's the goal anyway. So yeah, we covered a lot of topics tonight, and thanks for joining Here Be Dragons. Make sure to like, subscribe, and find us on the web at herebedragonsartcast.com. We're on Substack, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube, and anywhere else that you listen. We'll see you next time.